Hi, welcome to Bullet Pointless, when you're looking for just a hit from the On Pointless podcast. You lose absolutely all knowledge of all sports.
Done.
What sport is the easiest to relearn the rules and strategy to?
Soccer? Dodgeball. Definitely dodgeball. Hit the person with the ball. If you're hit, you're out.
Ooh, but if you catch it, you're not out.
All right. Third rule. Done.
And if you have the ball and you hit the ball with the ball, you're not out, I'm pretty sure.
Four
That's
rules.
true. And also if you catch it, someone from the other team is out, and someone from your team comes back. And there's overtime, and there's crossing the line, and there's charging the line at the start of the game.
I still think it's easier than
it's good.
golf.
Or like rugby.
Rugby.
I feel like rugby is not the easiest rules to understand. Because
No.
I played it for like a season and a half, and I know like 90% of the rules.
Yeah, rugby is fairly complicated as someone who played rugby. It's simple once you know what you're doing, but to teach it to someone's always hard.
Yeah. It's like football. You can kind of play, but for all the rules to learn,
Yeah,
lots of people don't know all the rules.
Like rouges.
Yeah.
yeah. With football, if you're wanting, like, let's say just to learn NFL rules or whatever, there's just so many, and there's so many interpretations and stuff. Like, the game itself of football is pretty simple.
But then
it
who's
gets
an
more
eligible
complicated.
player?
Darts.
I don't really know the rules of darts.
I know the rules of darts, and darts is fairly simple. I think I'm going to have to take bar games out of it, though, because I think they'd be too easy to learn, like foosball.
That's a good one.
Because foosball is not really a sport, but like
No
it's
spinning.
but it's along the lines of darts. So I mean,
Team sports, maybe.
yeah, learning the strategy of darts is actually really difficult because darts has a complicated strategy.
Yeah, now I think about it, I don't know the rules.
Yeah. I think like basketball is super easy for 99% of basketball, and then the last 1% is impossible to figure out.
Yeah, defense.
But like basketball, you're like, okay, I understand a basketball game, and then someone runs in and two people run together, and then the ref calls a foul, and it's 50-50 as to which team it's on. And I have no idea what the difference between those two things is.
The offensive guy has to be standing still if they're away from the ball, right?
Yeah, if they're setting a pick. But like when the difference between charging and like whatever the foul is where you get in someone's way, I have no idea. Like basketball's so close, but then it's tough.
See,
Blocking foul.
I
Picking.
thought soccer would be pretty easy because it's quite universal. But then there's
Offside,
offside, throw-ins, what's a kickball? But I still think dodgeball would be like, it'd have the least amount of rules.
What about ultimate frisbee?
You can't
Yeah, but then there's the
travel.
counting and
Counting.
stuff. It's weird,
Yeah, I guess so. But like ultimate frisbee is a way simpler version of football.
basically. Yeah.
Like soccer is pretty simple, except the problem with all of them isn't knowing the rules and knowing what you can't do. It's knowing the enforcement of them when you break them.
Yeah.
So like the soccer rules are fairly simple. Like offside you can learn pretty quick, and then don't touch the ball with your hands.
Yeah.
But the problem is like when you touch your ball with the hands here, or is that a yellow card or not? Or like
So how many times do I have to foul Messi before I get picked?
So you could think of it as which game would be hardest to be a referee for.
yeah, I guess that's probably
Yeah.
an easier way to look at it, is if you had to then like referee this sport, which would be
The worst.
the worst or the easiest.
Well,
I
the
think-
worst would be cricket.
See, cricket's a simple game, though. It's just no one in North America understands it. Cricket is way easier than football.
Yeah.
I think football would be the hardest one to referee. Or no, Australian rules football would probably be the hardest one to referee.
Be the bloodiest one.
I don't know, because
One where the players are really fast and you have to keep up with them.
that's adding a whole different element.
Yeah.
Have to be fit, too.
Well, that's like soccer. You have to, the refs has to run around.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, the easiest one to referee is baseball.
You just stand there.
Baseball's pretty simple. Baseball is...
Do I think that he got hit first?
Well, yeah, baseball is like, what got there first? The ball or the runner? So in baseball, there's ounce. And the only rule that's somewhat complicated for a person in the field in baseball is an infield fly. And even that's not that complicated of a rule. And then you have to learn, like, fair and foul.
But they have posts.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, because in baseball, if the ball goes out and crosses the line before first or third base,
Yeah.
it's foul, and after first or third, it's fair. But I just explained that simply. So all I have to do is explain infield flies.
And then, like, strike zones are, like, interpretive, right? Because, like, each umpire has a different strike zone, don't they?
Yeah, but
So-
it's still like, hey, was that in a spot where you could have hit it? Yep, okay, strike. If not, ball. Like, I think baseball's probably the easiest.
I think hockey's pretty easy too now that I think of hockey.
They have offside and icing.
Oh yeah, there are some things.
And then what's
high sticking?
Too many men charging, hooking. Like,
what's the
five for fighting?
Yeah.
Delay of game if you throw it over the boards at certain places. Where all the face-offs take place in hockey, depending on the certain situations.
Yeah, I guess there's stuff I just never paid attention to.
Hockey might actually be one of the most complicated. Because nothing in hockey is really intuitive for the rules either. Like, I was watching a hockey thing today, and the guy shot the puck at an empty net, and a defenseman dove onto the way and knocked the puck away from the empty net, and then another guy grabbed it and shot it at the empty net, even though he knocked the net off and it like hit the guy. So the guy got mad, so he started trying to fight the guy who shot it at him. But the rule is, normally the face-off would take place there. But because the defenseman from the attacking team went below the blue line into the zone, the face-off gets moved to the other end of the ice. That rule is so complicated and pointless, but it's to stop like 5-on-5 fights, so your defensemen aren't allowed to like come into the zone to fight somebody.
Oh.
But it's like, who would have ever thought of that just trying to watch hockey? That's why I think hockey, it's either hockey or football has to be the most complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things in football,
Yeah, I
too.
think football is pretty weird.
And everything, like, no one knows what holding is anymore, or what tripping is, you know?
Yeah.
Or what a catch is.
Even with all the video replay.
Well, yeah, there's too much video replay, so everyone sees everything in slow motion now, which makes it entirely different to call than when it's at full speed.
Yeah. Actually, the easiest sport probably is tennis.
Yeah, tennis is
pretty simple. There's a grid.
You just forget how to count and then learn a new way to count and you're fine.
All counting is done in 15s, except for when you get to 40, then you only count by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
0 now is love. Simple.
Done.
But tennis is pretty simple. Like tennis, badminton. I was going to say volleyball, but volleyball has weird rules about like carrying the ball. So, yeah, I'm going to say that hockey or football is the hardest, and tennis or badminton are the easiest.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any weird... Because with tennis, there's the serve. That could be illegal, right?
That's if you foot fault or if it doesn't land in the box, basically.
But badminton serving, it's got to be like kind of underhand or side hand.
Yeah,
right?
there's weird rules to badminton about that.
See, I don't know badminton well enough to know if it's actually easy. Which makes me think it's less easy than tennis. Because I've probably played them similar amounts of times.
Fair enough. Are we in agreement, or at least not in disagreement?
I'm going to say rugby still is the hardest one to figure out
hard.
what they're
Which
up to.
rugby? Rugby union, rugby league, Australian
Let's
rules.
say
If she says-
union.
If she says rugby, she just says
Yeah.
all of them, and that makes it even more complicated.
How about a game of footy?
Yes.
A game of footy. You've just described like 30 different sports.
game of footy really
every
confuses
sport
me.
except hockey and basketball is a game of footy.
Yeah.
Mars ball up in Mars is footy.
Yeah.